Bula. Welcome to the Fijian Foodie. I'm Manoj Singh and together with me is my daughter Tanisha. I'm making another food recipe video. I'm doing this after 6 years. I stopped it because of my personal injury. Today I'm teaching my daughter how to make a wonderful Fijian dish, roro.
Yes, so this video is going to be a little bit different because it's for my final project for my human ecology and variation class. So we're going to talk a little bit about anthropology and biology while we cook. Also, fun fact, I didn't know this until Dad told me the other day, but roro actually means abundance in Itoke.
Yeah, it's funny. I also tried to find out how they make recipes which can be done in India using taro leaf, but I couldn't find anything which is very much similar the way roro is made in a dish called roro is made in Fiji Island. Even though it's abundance over there, especially in South India, the roro, the taro leaves, but there is nothing similar to what we are doing in Fiji Island.
Yeah, they make it more similar to sag, which I was seeing in my thing. They don't use coconut milk in their food, yeah. But when I was researching this dish for this project, I found that the Philippines actually makes a dish really similar to it. And that's because we have, Fiji and the Philippines have a very similar ecology. They're both tropical islands, abundant in taro. But like you said, taro only grows in South India.
Yeah.
And
there's another thing which I have noted, like the utilization of coconut. Coconut cream, like that's also have abundance in Fiji Island. Maybe the abundance of both taro leaf and coconut, which is the reason probably they have come up with this idea of how to utilize both the abundant product to make a beautiful dish.
Definitely.
And probably I'm just sorry if I'm wrong to my Fiji Island, Ituke friends. If I'm wrong, please apologize about it. I don't know. Maybe they were using the seawater to cook together with the taro leaves and come up with a dish. But then when the Indian settlement went down during the indentured period, they have probably introduced some other thing together to come up with this beautiful recipe, which is now popular in both communities.
Cultures, yeah.
And what is good is that this is a unifying dish which brings both the community together.
exactly.
Not only this, there's so many other dishes which probably we won't be able to show you today.
Like kata bhaji.
Yeah, kata bhaji and dal is getting and our dish, what we the Indians in Fiji Island are making is, I was even researching, finding out that there's quite a difference of the way we cook and the way it is done in India. And it is because maybe probably the availability of the resources they had when they went there. They probably didn't have that many spices that time, that many of resources that time, so they probably reintroduced the new techniques in bringing up the new dishes over there.
Exactly. The thing is, like, most of the people who came to Fiji, most of the indentured servants were from UP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the UP, the ecology there is not very abundant in taro. It's not. It's more North India than South India. But so this would have been a completely new dish for our ancestors.
Even in Punjab, if you go to like Punjab, where the dishes are more based with the cream, usage of
more
cream,
dairy,
more dairy cream,
and that also fun fact again. But most of the world is lactose intolerant. Yeah. But people who have like ancestral populations that have relied on milk in the past have like lactase persistence, so they can continue to metabolize milk and not have problems. Yeah,
and just because when the Indian settlement went there, they didn't have that abundance of probably cow and dairy with them. So, and when they saw the Fijian community using this substitute of milk as
coconut milk,
as a coconut milk, and look at this, coming up with a beautiful dish of roro.
Exactly, and also I was looking at some Itoke roro recipes, and a lot of them include meat. But since a lot of the Indo-Fijians like now are Hindu and like especially ancestral populations Hindu and vegetarian. So our interpretation of the dish is completely vegan. There's no meat.
Yeah, it's totally vegan because they don't have to put any meat over there, and it's also I think coconut milk is also a base of good protein over there, and it's also like contributes to their dietary supplements, you know.
Mm-hmm. And taro is actually a staple food in many tropical countries, well, tropical areas, I should say, because taro is also eaten in Hawaii a lot because similar ecologies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Okay.
But you should never eat taro raw.
Raw, yeah. This today I'm gonna start with showing you how to clean these leaves. This is a taro leaf actually. Unfortunately, we didn't find a very good leaves over here.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to source taro over here, but where did you find it?
In the Pacific Market.
Yeah, Pacific Market in Everett.
Everett,
Washington.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, we got to have a very tender leaves to actually make a very beautiful recipe of this, because in Fiji we can always choose the best right from the fresh from the farm.
It goes literally
everywhere, and you can pick it up with the very tender leaves over here. We don't get actually too many tender leaves. But well, whatever we have, we're gonna do it a wonderful recipe today. I'll show you how to basically clean this actually before I cut it. So most of the time in Fiji they would probably the whole leaf over there because it's so tender. But over here, just because it's not that quality of the leaf, so we'll probably just try and rip it the.
Oh, so you take off like the bad parts?
No, this is the leaves we're gonna use. So we're gonna leave this small stems which is inside in between. We're not gonna use that. So we're gonna just take out this way, and then after this, once we do this, we're gonna chop the leaves.
Okay.
Really fine.
So are you gonna use this part too?
No. Okay. This is like no, I don't use it. But in Fiji they do, because it's so
soft,
tender, so soft. So this is just to make it easier for us over here because of not that quality of leaves.
Which is another adaptation to our environment, because it's colder here, it's harder to source, fresh produce.
Yeah, but it's lucky that we find so many things still over here, and we haven't forgotten to make our dishes which we used to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I always encourage my kids to eat home cooked food, and we do actually.
Yes, I mean that's why I'm learning how to cook right now. It's hard living alone and not knowing how to cook.
No. So we have been cleaning the leaf. We have already cleaned this much. I was showing how to know that which is a soft leaf and which is like kind of little very hard. When you tear this up, see, this is how it tears up without like a crisp sound of tearing like a paper. And you can feel it. It's the softness.
It's just sensation.
Yeah. So we have already cleaned this one. After this, we're gonna wash it, and then I'll teach her how to cut it.
Yeah. But we're gonna finish up these leaves first, so you guys can have like a sense of like how to clean it, But what we were talking about earlier was like the importance of eating your cultural foods, and I've been thinking about that a lot lately, especially since I learned about the global nutrition transition that we're going through. So now a lot more areas of the world that, used to rely solely on their cultural foods and their cultural crops have more accessibility to processed foods because of like trade, globalization, and so they're like opting to eat more processed foods because it's convenient. It's easy to go pick up a burger from McDonald's or, pick up a gas station meal, which I totally understand. But it's like they're high in calories but not in nutrients, so you're not really gaining anything for your health,
Yes, I've also seen when we visited Fiji Island last time, the introduction of so many fast food restaurants over there, which is like getting away from the cultural, the indigenous style of making food and using the fresh produce and products from the country and naturally making wonderful dishes. It's kind of eradicating now because introduction of this, so many US people have that craze to go to this place.
Like USP students,
it's
easy to pick
but we
up
can
food
understand.
And stuff. Like it makes a lot of sense. I totally understand. But like the great thing about our cultural foods is that they're usually like very fresh and like diverse in ingredients, which is really good for your gut health and your gut microbiome. And like the microbiome is super important. It helps you metabolize your food and it protects you from like pathogens. And if you don't have a diverse microbiome, which is kind of the risk you run into when you're eating more processed foods, you're more likely to get sick because, it's not fighting off the pathogens for you. And that's actually a big reason why when people like visit different countries, different environments, like they get sick more easier because their microbiomes aren't adapted to the place that they're living in. And like, how when we went to Fiji, like especially with Ayan, he got a little bit sick. And You know, weird thing I learned in class the other day is that sometimes people take pills made out of the fecal matter of the environment they're going to visit. So like they source it locally from someone who lives there and whose gut microbiome is already like developed to the certain environment that they're planning to visit. And then they take the pills, and then once they go, like their own gut microbiome is like assimilated. Sort of. Yeah. Okay.
That's very good to know. Yeah, I mean, stick to your natural food of your country is very important to keep your whole food culture going on.
Exactly.
You know? It's like not forgetting your food culture, and like maybe most of our audience don't know that we're making this video in United States.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's why when we're talking about it, maybe you just don't know where we are. We are in United States, but I still kept the home food for my kids, which they always loved it.
Yes, and it's important to like keep the tradition going because it is like a way of connecting back to your roots.
And good to even though we are in United States, I'm glad to say that we still are able to get most of the produce.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about globalization and sort of the nutrition transition.
There's some positivity out there.
Positive sides to every story.
And then we can still introduce your kids when you see those vegetables in one of the most of the Asian stores we go to nowadays. And
shout out to H-Mart.
And then we find there you go. We find the things which we had in Fiji, like another good dish is Seijan bhaji.
Seijan bhaji, moringa leaf, right?
Moringa leaf, yeah. That's and we go and just takes a little while to do it, but you can do it.
You can make a day out of it. It's kind of fun going to like different shops and seeing stuff.
Okay. After we have done this, I'm gonna wash it and then we're gonna cut it.
And we're gonna come right back with the ingredients and then we'll get into the meat of it.
Yeah. So I have already washed the leaves and now I'm there you go. Yeah. Now I'm gonna most of the time, as I told you, we're not gonna chop it because in Fiji it's very tender leaves, like from the produce from the farm. So, but this one we might just wanna do it really finely chopped over here. So this is how I'm gonna normally just cut it.
And then do you chop it again?
Yeah, I'll make it really fine because I really like it to be fine so that we can really get a very good, nice and creamy like texture when we finish cooking.
Almost like a puree, but a little bit more creamier, I think.
Yeah, yes, as you said, like for protein purpose in Fiji Island, most of the time they use to add meat in this too.
And like balsami has meat, and it also has taro, I think, right?
Yeah.
And balsami is a dish, like a traditional lovo.
Dish,
so it's cooked in the earth.
Yeah, it's something like in Hawaii they call luau, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to that. Okay, we'll come back and show you once it's already finely chopped.
Yes.
We have already finely chopped our taro leaves, which I already washed it earlier. And then we have about half diced onion, finely diced onion. And another quarter of the onion we did a fine slice of it. And then we have about 2 tablespoons of cooking vegetable oil. And about 1.5 teaspoon of mustard seeds, and then we also have about 1.5 teaspoon of cumin seeds for that fragrance we can get in there, and we have a fenugreek seed about 1 teaspoon, and then I have about 1.5 tablespoon of salt, and we also use 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which is kind of used as a catalyst to break down the leaf, melt it down, because I'm not very sure how they're gonna cook over here. The leaves are not that tender. And I also have like 1.5 teaspoon of lemon juice. We use lemon juice because sometimes the leaves gives the itchiness in your throat, so that cuts down.
That's probably why you shouldn't be eaten raw. It's also toxic if consumed raw.
Yeah. And I also have like about 7 to 8 cloves of garlic, and about 5 to 6 green chilies, and about 1/4 inch of ginger. I'm gonna pound this in the
mortar and pestle with a mortar and pestle.
And since we don't have the coconut, fresh coconuts, we're gonna use this. I find this is one of the best brands to use.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll use 1.5 cans of one big and 1 small can of coconut milk. And if needed, we can add some more water in that too.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And it's these spices, these Indian spices, that kind of make like our version of roro.
Yeah, our version of roro,
like,
definitely.
That's
definitely.
how we kind of
Yeah.
added to the dish.
Yeah, and now there are two versions. There are many versions of cooking this dish over here.
Yeah, everyone has a different version.
Yeah,
of
and all of them are good, and we cannot challenge any of them because they have their own
they're
version.
tasty everywhere. Yeah.
So what today the way I'm making today is I'm gonna boil this in the water. Okay, let it really melt down the leaves, and some other people do it different way, and we totally respect their style too.
Yeah.
So let's boil this in a little bit of water. Once it's melted, then we'll start the other process of the cooking.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I've started boiling the leaves, and I'll also add the baking powder in it right now, and we'll just stir it a little bit. So as mentioned earlier, we started boiling the leaves. Now we have boiled like about 15 to 20 minutes, and luckily the leaves were really tender, and it had turned out to be really well melted. As you have seen over there, it looks really well melted. It's a little watery at the moment. It will evaporate very soon, and we'll just continue the process from here after. We're gonna use another pan, and we warm it and just add the 2 tablespoons of oil we had, and then we add the cumin seed, the mustard seed, and fenugreek seed. And then we're gonna add the diced onions. Yeah, we're gonna keep stirring this, and we're gonna add the garlic ginger paste we made, half of it actually, now, and we're gonna add also the salt in here. So we're not using all the salt, which we had like 1.5 tablespoons, because I never expected that the leaves will really get that soften, you know. As you see, it's getting really, the onions are getting soft and it's getting a little brown. Yeah, some people don't cook it this way, it's okay. Everybody has their own way of doing. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the boiled leaves in it. We're gonna keep stirring, let it evaporate a little bit more water. We have to be a little careful because it splatters as it evaporates the water, so we have to be a little careful about it. And it's almost like you can see it's all melted and looks really creamy and beautiful. I never expected this leaf to be coming out this way. And now we are ready to add we're gonna use only 1 can of the coconut milk. Look at this. This is looking beautiful. I never really expected this. We just want to let it boil, but not to overboil it, you know. Just as soon as it starts boiling, we're gonna just make off it, and we're gonna add all the balance of the ginger garlic paste we had. As soon as it starts like kind of like bubbling up, like boiling, we're gonna add the onions. Well, this is all up to it's my preference. I like my sliced onions in almost every food right at the end. So it's preference, you know. You don't have to really add it. I also love to add like sliced green chilies in it, but I don't have the green chilies in that much today. We'll just wait it for a boil. As you see, it's just started boiling. We just don't want to boil too much. So right at the end, before you're gonna stop like the whole process of the cooking, you're gonna add all the lemon juice in here. This will reduce like itchiness in your throat normally, which taro leaves normally give. We're just gonna stir it and we call it done. So finally we are done.
We're done. It's done.
It turned out to be very beautiful. Look how creamy it is. I think it is turned out to be really perfect. It could have been more juicy, or we could have make it a little bit evaporate more water, but I think this is pretty much very good.
It's a good texture.
Yeah, it's a very good texture. Yeah, it's very creamy, and it doesn't take long. It was quick dish to make.
Way less ingredients than some of our other foods.
Other food, definitely. Yeah. So you wanted to talk about some of the nutritional value about it, because this is so popular in Fiji.
And a lot of other tropical countries.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, taro is actually really high in fiber, calcium, and vitamin A. And you know, fiber helps with digestion, calcium is good for your bones, but vitamin A really helps in growth and development.
Okay,
so
that's awesome. Good to know.
Yeah, for kids especially, this would be a good dish to eat. And I know when we were kids, we also ate a lot of roro.
Exactly, yeah. Yes. We made almost every time at home,
And it helps with growth, but like for also adults, it like regulates your immune system and normal vision. So it's like a good dish for all age groups. Yeah. But I also did want to say, earlier we were talking about processed foods and everything, but you know, taro isn't a superfood, and fed is best. It doesn't matter what you eat. You should eat, you know? And I just wanted to illustrate the benefits of eating your own cultural foods.
Yeah, and also like, as we have mentioned earlier, you can also add like meat if you want.
Yes.
Yeah, it will add some more protein value in there if you don't want.
Food's meant to be evolved and innovated upon.
And I think this is also good to know that there's so many way of integrating different ingredients of different places and then putting your own touch and bringing out something wonderful, which helps everybody, you know.
Exactly.
And it's food is a union of different communities.
Exactly, it is definitely a union.
Yeah.
So let's eat.
Oh yeah,
all right. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.